Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic astrology. And in today's video, we'll be talking about house activation techniques and how planets are responsible and how we look for planets and house activations. In we'll learn this into this session with examples. Okay, but before we start, those who are watching it live, welcome to this new session. And those who are watching it as a replay, this session would be about the house activation. And at the end of this session, you would find the question and answers. I'll be answering questions to some of the friends regarding this techniques. Okay, so you can directly jump to the Q&A, or you can enjoy these presentations as well. Okay, before we start, please confirm if you are able to hear me. Just put in AV, audio video, and just put in thumbs up. I'm just waiting for your response. Yes, AV, true. It's saying audio and video is okay. Yes, great. So yes, Shane Music, AV thumbs up. Yeah, great. Welcome Shane Music. Welcome Katie. Welcome True. Okay, so yeah, today we'll talk about the house activation. But before that, I want to tell you something about. I'm conducting a free workshop, a live workshop on Friday, 27th of January, early morning, 7:15 in the morning. And those who want to register it, those who want to register for it, you can simply go and register at this link. I've already put this link into the pin comment of this chat. Okay, you can go and check it. Okay, so the workshop is about how to read the D9 chart, and things we'll learn as to how we calculate D9 chart, how to use it for the predictive, how to use it as a predictive tool for relationships, compatibility, and some of the secrets about the nakshatras and D9 chart. And don't think that I want you to be there present into the live session, which will really help you to understand the true essence of D9 chart, because I get a lot of queries as to how to read D9 chart and what are the houses, which are the important houses, why we use D9 chart, and so on. Do we use nakshatra into D9 chart? All these questions will be answered in that workshop, and there will be deep dive into that workshop. Okay, so make sure you are joining that, and it's free, but I want you to invest time. Okay, and that will really take your astrological studies to the next level with the Varga charts. Okay, and we'll go through the examples as well if possible during that time. But yes, that training is coming on 27th. Just check out the link and you would know more about it. Okay, so let's start with today's session. Yes. Okay, so great. Ramambuta, Piyush Sadana, Arpita Vermaji, Shane Music. Yes, welcome all. Let's start the session. Now, when we say that house activation, Let me just share the screen and the windows, open window. Okay. Yeah. So house activation is whenever you're going through each time period, or when there is certain event happening in your life, some of the houses get activated. You might have experienced that some of the people feel good after getting married, or their life just they had a great time after marriage. They get some upliftment in career, they get opportunities, wealth. Or some of the people have bad experiences once they get married, or they have child, or they travel to foreign lands. Okay, so when certain events happen, why there are so many different experiences? There are two reasons for it. First is, when an event happen in your chart, in your life, it is specifically to you because it activates different houses for you. Okay, we'll look into the example, then I will explain you in detail. But for example, if I'm getting married and I have a seventh lord placed in somewhere, so what it does is it activates the seventh house because I'm getting married. It also activates the seventh lord and the house where it is placed in. Okay, and that triggers the events. Okay, so let's look at an example. Okay, I've just casted the chart for I just casted the chart for this timing, some random time. And now let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, Nakia Lindsay is saying thanks for the live. Yes, we do it every Friday. Yeah. So this is a chart which is Capricorn ascendant chart. Okay. And for example, let's say this person is getting married. Okay. During this session, we are not going to discuss when he will get married. Okay. Due to some dashas, transit, he got married. What would be the effect of that marriage? Whether that would be good, bad, how he would be experiencing that. Okay. So it depends upon the houses which gets activated during this time. So let's say this person got married. So which are the houses which will get activated? First is the seventh house is getting activated. The seventh lord is moon. Okay, and moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, which is the ninth sign, and it is into the 12th house. So now for this person, when he gets married, this activates not only the seventh house of marriage, but it also activates the 12th house of foreign lands. And it is also into the sign of Sagittarius, which is a sign of optimism, which is the sign of higher beliefs, which is the sign of Bhagyodaya, which is the ninth house sign. Okay, it has the vibes of ninth house. Sagittarius is the most optimistic, fiery sign. Okay, and uh, you would see that this is activating these two houses for this person. So for this person, the 12th lord moon can bring in foreign travels. Okay, it can also bring in upliftment and optimism in one's orientation towards life, the way he looks at life. Okay, also this can also cause a separation with the partner. Okay, and when I say separation, that separation can be because of the person traveling to the foreign lands. The 12th house is sixth from the seventh, right? So the 12th house is sixth from the seventh. Sixth house is the house of delays, arguments, separations, right? That's why we call sixth house is the house of divorce. But seventh excuse me, sixth from the seventh, the 12th house is not only the house of loss, it is also the house of foreign travels. So when this person will get married, this person have to, travel abroad, and that could cause a separation with the partner. Okay, so this is one way of looking at it. Let's say this person had kids. Okay, so let's say this person have kids. Again, don't get confused. We are not talking about when this person will have kids, or if this person will have kids ever. No, this is not the topic of discussion today. Today we are talking about the house activation and the planets. So let's say this person had children, and we have to see, when people have kids, they are happy, they always want that children, right? They feel good, the energy of the house changes, but not for everyone. Let's see what's happening with this person. Let's say this person has, have kid now. So when this person will have a kid, this will activate the fifth house. Why? Fifth house is the house of the kids, the creativity. Okay, now this person will, uh, this the kids will activate the fifth house. Now it also has the Mars. Okay, so Mars will also get activated. And which are the houses ruled by Mars? Houses ruled by Mars are the 11th house and the fourth house. So when this person have kid, it is going to activate the fifth house, fourth house, and the 11th house of gains. So this person might experience gain in real estate, in land and building, in uh, in connection with some property, or gains from the siblings. All these things can be seen after the birth of a child, because after the birth of a child, it activates these three houses. The fourth house is the house of sukha. Fourth house is the house of happiness. Fourth house is also the house of your emotions, and the at the time of your sleep. Okay, how how peacefully you can sleep. And you would see that these three things get activated once he has the birth of a child in his life. Okay, so this is how we look at the house activations. And when and in the next thing, we will add layer of Vimshottari Mahadasha to it. In the next layer, we'll talk about how the dasha sequence is also impacting these house activations. Okay, that would be really interesting. But before that, let's say this person is, you know, mm, let's say this person is communicating with the other person. The third house is getting activated, right? With the third house activation, there is the Jupiter energy. Jupiter in the third house speaks about wisdom. So when this person speaks, he's considered as a wise person. Okay, and it not only activates the third house, it also activates the 12th house again. Okay, and now this person might have to travel. The third house, by the way, is also the house of travel, the short-term travel. And 12th house is the longest travel, even the journey outside the body or realm or the earth and beyond the moksha, right? So 12th house is about that. So this is how we look at the activation of the houses and the planets. So have done with once we are done with analysis of the timing of the event, let's say we have finalized what would be the timing of that marriage. Okay, and then we can judge about which are the houses getting impacted, whether this is, fruitful or not. And there are many techniques, but let me tell you one thing: when we are doing the compatibility, when we are doing compatibility test, I would recommend you to focus more on the Vimshottari Mahadasha of boy and girl. Okay, don't just compare on, oh, how many gunas are there. Okay, I mean, I highly recommend not to just fall for the gunas or the computer generated reports. Instead of that, you just learn it on yourself and just focus on what are the things exactly happening in this person during this time, and at the same time what's happening with the other person, and then see their stories, and then you should match their ascendant nakshatra, and then you will have a clarity about whether these two people will get along well or not. Okay, and whether these two people are complementary to each other, and whether they are complementing each other's strengths, and there are no blemishes when it comes to these connections. It becomes really important, more than just gunas. Okay, so this is how we use the house activation techniques, and I'm going to deep dive into the compatibility and the relationships um, during the workshop on 27th of January. So I would highly recommend all of my students or those who are watching my YouTube to join me there. Okay, and you would enjoy it just like last time we had a 3 hour of training, live training, where we discussed about how to read a birth chart, what are the elements, basics. And now we are going to the next level. Now we are going to learn about the D9 chart. Okay, I don't know how much time it will be. I don't know how much time we'll be having that session, how long we will have that session. That's why I'm starting a little early. Okay, so make sure you join that, and come with your questions as well. Or if you have any questions, you can email me immediately so that I can cover them during the session, or I will include your points, your queries into the presentation. So that would be, that session will become and bring value to you. I don't want to waste your time. I really value your time. Okay, so you just send me your questions, and I will include those questions as well, as many questions as possible, and we'll definitely cover those queries into that session. Most definitely join them. Okay, now let's take the questions here. The Atmakarka in Navamsha. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Aprajita Abraham. What if Mars, Venus, Mercury, Sun are in the 12th house? Okay, so when there are more than two planets in the 12th house, so I suppose you're asking about house activation techniques. And when you have these many planets into the 12th house, is that your question? Please share your ascendant as well. Okay, so yeah, meanwhile, if you have any question, yeah, the Shane Music has a question. Debilitated Saturn in the 6th house, Saturn in the 6th house in Scorpio ascendant. I'm currently running Saturn Mahadasha and Saturn Antradasha. Okay, so let's look at the Scorpio ascendant. Let's make this as Scorpio ascendant. This is Scorpio. Let's make this as Scorpio ascendant. And now he's saying debilitated Saturn in 6th house. Okay, yeah. Share Music, I get your question. I really feel that the 6th house Saturn is one of the best placement for Saturn. Okay, if you look at this, I always see this because 6th house is a Upachaya house. What is Upachaya? Upachaya houses are the houses which grows with time. So as time passes, your Saturn will be healed. Your Saturn will give you good results. Okay, and you will have better progress in life. Sixth house is the house of constant progress in life, and Saturn is the planet of karma, the planet of action, the planet of karma is into the house of your daily routine. Saturn loves to be in the daily routine. Saturn loves to keep working into that daily, you might call it boring, but the daily routine. Okay, so when you have Saturn in Aries in the sixth house, what it shows is, it shows you will have to work hard. Sixth house is the house of self effort. Okay, also look at the third lord, where the third lord is placed in, and if it is associated with this Saturn, it will make you work even harder. Okay, so yeah, this is an important, but don't get scared and don't be afraid just because you have debilitated Saturn into the sixth house and you are going through the Mahadasha. Don't get scared of astrology. Don't be afraid of it. Okay, it just means something and you can always change that. Knowing itself is powerful. You don't need any other remedy. Once you know things, most definitely you can work on that. Once you know your swabhav, once you know your nature, and once you know the destined events, now you know how to how to deal with them, how to approach them, and that's how you can change your destiny. Don't go for any other remedy. Again, don't be afraid of this sixth house Saturn. It's a good placement. Now let's take the next question. So can Jupiter Rahu indicate new age thinking, unique teacher? Yeah, of course. Yeah, it does. Like you might hear Jupiter and Rahu as mm, Guru Chandal Yoga, which is Guru Ketu or Guru Rahu is Guru Chandal Yoga. But these two are powerful, optimistic planets. And this Jupiter, you have to see the strength of the Jupiter, the Shatbala and the Lajitadi Avastha is also important when it is conjunct with Rahu. And when it is conjunct with Rahu, it gives you unique thinking. Your wisdom is way ahead of time. Okay, but that doesn't qualify for goodness or badness. Okay, you can be a great teacher to wrong people, or you can be a great teacher to the right people. That depends on the circumstances and the overall quality of the chart. And it, but don't just think that, oh, this is Rahu and Jupiter, so it's bad. No, it can be really brilliant teacher, and these teachers will break all the old age customs, the way of thinking, the old way of thinking. Let's say someone with Rahu and Jupiter starts teaching astrology, so he will bring a revolution. He would bring that new age vibe into astrology. Okay, and their wisdom is way ahead of time. Like people will start talking about, like I've seen people who have been talking about certain spiritual things 20 years back, and now it has become a thing. So these people, those are the people who have some Jupiter and Rahu aspect, Jupiter and Rahu conjunction into their chart. Brilliant placement for any teacher. So yeah, you said you have Capricorn ascendant. Yeah. So for Capricorn ascendant, when you have four planets into the Sagittarius, those are Mars, Venus, Mercury, Sun. Okay. So these like Mars, Venus, and Venus, Mercury are very good conjunctions, and it shows that you might have great relationships, because Mars is the planet of passion. The planet of passion conjuncts with the planet of relationship. So it shows a passionate relationship as well, and it shows wittiness. When Venus conjuncts with Mercury, it shows witty and a person who is great with language, or who has mastered the power of words. Okay, but from the house activation perspective, if that person is getting married and if he has these many planets there, it only gets activated after marriage if it has moon into it for Capricorn ascendant, which is the seventh lord. Okay, it has Mars in it, so it can get activated after a childbirth, and so on. So you have to see it for all the planets, and then you would be able to uh, understand more about what's happening into this conjunction. And when there are more than two or three planetary conjunctions, you have to be really careful with the degrees of the each planet and the degree of the ascendant. The degree of the ascendant is also crucial. I hope this has helped you. Next, what if Sun and Mercury are in the eighth house in Virgo Lagna? Okay, I didn't get the question. What about that? I'm learning degrees of planets. What is the best book out there to learn, or do you have any suggestions? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to make a separate video on the books recommendation. Okay, but if you have a Parashara Hora Shastra, you can check out that book as well. That will really help you to start with. Okay, and I'm really happy that you are seeking the knowledge from the books. Books are guru. Okay, I'm happy for you. Next is for Leo ascendant in the fourth house, Sun, Venus, Mars, and Mercury in the sixth house. Capricorn. Why today everybody is Capricorn ascendant? Now it's the Capricorn sign. Okay. Jupiter, Jupiter Mahadasha. Okay, so what is the question? My son, a Taurus ascendant, has Saturn in the 10th house in Mul Trikon, yeah, in Aquarius at birth. Now he's having Saturn Mahadasha and Jupiter Antradasha. Now, see, Ramam Babu Ta, whenever you have Jupiter and Saturn conjunction, just wait. Don't be in a hurry to judge because these two are big planets. They have back to back dashas. So don't be in a hurry to judge this. Okay, make sure because this conjunction is the planet of wisdom gets the reality check of Saturn as well as the discipline of Saturn. So this is a very good placement for uh, Saturn and Jupiter. Okay, so yeah. Next is what are the effects of Saturn Rahu conjunction in the 11th house for Pisces ascendant? Okay, so for Pisces ascendant, it goes into the Capricorn sign. And when Rahu goes into the Capricorn sign, Ketu goes into the Cancer sign. Okay, and 11th house is the house of gains. 11th house is the house of your um, large organizations and connection with the society as a whole. And when you have an amplifying Rahu there and restricting Saturn there, it really confuses that person. Okay, now it depends upon which dasha you're running. Let's say you're running through the Saturn Mahadasha, then Saturn becomes powerful. If you are going through the Rahu Mahadasha, then Rahu rules you for the 18 years. And it is into the Pisces ascendant. So for Pisces ascendant, Saturn is ruling the 11th house itself of gains and the 12th house of loss. So you have to see and analyze this thoroughly. This is quite, mixed results because of 12th house and 11th house and Rahu and Saturn. So you have to see which planet is ruling you right now and which planet is stronger for you. Stronger planet doesn't mean good or bad. It just means the strong. We talked about this in Shadbala video. Okay. So yeah, this is important. I hope this has helped you. So does Rahu in specific nakshatra gives huge wealth? Yeah, Rahu, like in each placement, you can have huge wealth. It just depends upon You get it by doing certain things. Okay, that is important. And if you're doing the right things, then it gets activated. Okay, so everybody can make money, huge money, but it only when they are doing the right things, the things which are aligned to their self. Okay, and most importantly, the time period. Time is the most important. Okay, I don't know whether Jupiter Dasha is favorable or not. Moon is in the fifth. What's happening for Leo ascendant? See, for Leo ascendant, Jupiter is ruling the fifth house and the eighth house. Okay, and you're going through the Jupiter Mahasana, so it is activating the fifth house as well, which is the house of Purva Punya. So again, this goes into whatever your Punya is, it will get activated, good or bad. Makes sense? But ascendant wise, it is ruling a trine. So this Jupiter will bring in some self improvement, personal growth into your life. It will bring in some kind of a creativity and education, wisdom into your life through Jupiter Mahadasha. Constellation Sun, Capricorn constellation, Moon Session. Oh, wow. Great observation. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So, do we have any other questions? I'm waiting for your questions. Okay. Meanwhile, I will share the link of that workshop again. Just make sure you're joining it. Now I'm just waiting for, if you have any questions, please share. Yes, what is, okay. My chart ruler is Saturn in Leo. What can you tell me? Thank you. I can't tell you anything because I don't know the rest of the chart. If you want me to go through your chart, or don't share your birth details here, but definitely email me about what you want me to look at, and then I'll share my feedback with you. And if you want me to share it in a live session like this, I'll definitely share it with you as well. Okay, but make sure don't share your birth details on a public platform. That's for sure. Okay. So yes, I think those are the questions. So yes, this was house activation techniques and planets, as much as I could hold, grasp, and share with you guys. If you want to learn how to read Navamsha, see you on the 27th of January on 7 a.m. IST, and we'll deep dive into Navamsha. Okay, see you on the other side of the training. Namaste.